Let's see.
I'm actually pretending to talk that entire time. Hi, Danielle. Hi, got you. Got you.
You just made me feel super comfortable and kind of off my rocker.
My name is Akeem, by the way. Nice to virtually meet you.
Nice to virtually meet you. I'm going to brush out these locks while we talk.
Absolutely, yeah.
Not the whole time. Not the whole time.
Well, Danielle, it's a pleasure to have you on. Of course, we're going to be talking about God of War Ragnarok, your role as Freya. You are Freya. You were there for the first game, 2018. I remember, and your character, I'd have to say, has really seen quite the evolution. Let's go way back, all right? I want us to go way back to when you first found out about this role, because I'm kind of curious, how did you find the voice of Freya?
It was for an interactive game, and I didn't know what that meant at the time, because I stopped playing video games around Super Mario, but in the 90s, like Tetris and things like that. And I love video games, Miss Pac-Man, going to the arcade. This is my generation. Mm-hmm. But I didn't understand the technology. So then when my manager goes, kind of like Avatar or, Gollum in Lord of the Rings, you're going to put on the whole mocap suit and performance capture, and they're going to animate you. I was like, that's so badass. Yes, let's do this. And so I got the material. As you know, best narrative. I mean, this storytelling is just top notch. I'm so blessed. And I thought it was I said, well, this just feels like an audition for Game of Thrones. So in my mind, I was like, what would Khaleesi do? Yeah. This is Lady Stark giving her speech to her people, before the Red Wedding. This, I was just channeling all of my fangirl fiction, into this audition. And fortunately, sometimes this happens, sometimes it doesn't. But at that moment, Corey Barlog knew. He said within the first 30 seconds that I was her. Have no idea what that meant at the time. I was just going in and doing this audition. So didn't even know what game I was in until the table read. Thought I was going to be fired after listening to the booming voice of Chris Judge and the Scottish brogue of Alistair Duncan. And I've got Robert Craighead over here and Adam Harrington. And I was like, this is my first time. I felt very intimidated. Not that I didn't feel welcome. I just didn't know if I understood in my body and in my voice what to do yet. So truly my experience with Freya, even though Corey was 30 seconds in, that's Freya, that's the living embodiment. I had to find her, I had to find her voice. So, and the way she moved, didn't even know it was Norse mythology when I was going in. So yay, when I finally figured that out, because I'm a very studious kind of actress, I started going on Google and I was looking up all the Norse mythology. Who is Freya? What is Freya? What's her backstory? So I, little by little, it was like an unfurling where I was just trying on different things. And at first I was a little too regal with my voice, because I'm thinking leader of the Vanir, queen of the Valkyrie, there's majesty here. But when we meet her, she's the hermit witch in the woods, relegated in Midgard with everything stripped from her. She may have a glimmer of that queen-like energy, but at this point, she kind of felt like everyone turned her back on her. So there she was with her back turned to everybody else. So I didn't quite have it right away. And then I remember one day Corey came up to me. We're talking about the first game now. Yeah. And Matt Sophos was there too. And they were like, there's just a little more kind of FU swagger energy, kind of like Han Solo, right? You're in the Midgard. You're go away. I'm still a god. Let me just be with my herbs and doing my Seder magic. And I got my friend Hilda Sweeney is a boar. Let's just get out of here. And because I grew up watching Star Wars, it was that was a religion in my household. Once I got the Han Solo vibe, I had a dream about Han Solo that night. We were just kind of hanging out in a very interesting way. And, dreams are very telling, we work things out subconsciously. So obviously Danielle in real life was really trying to get the essence of this woman. And the next day I came in, I swear to you, the voice dropped in, from the inner core out, the magma of her, earth center was there. My walk, my overall purpose, the brokenhearted, mother who was wanting to repair, the one that felt rejected by her people, but also still, Freya always has that glimmer of hope. She always has that hope for repair and to heal with love. She's the goddess of love after all. Yeah. So it all just kind of clicked in.
And it's funny that you say that, because we see her having a glimmer of hope. She definitely in the second game she forgives Kratos, but the way the game starts off though, You know, Freya, you got Kratos and Atreus spooked. Like they're running away. They're running away from like.
Indeed.
Yeah, you would think Kratos, he's this big tough dude with this deep voice, so you wouldn't think he'd be so fearful. But of course, you're gunning them down. So how did that transition happen? Because like now you're filled with anger towards the beginning. I would say like somewhat of the first half of the second game.
Well, I couldn't wait to get revenge because where I stopped as Danielle is where Freya stopped, and I'm protective of my characters. I'm an advocate for my character, and so I knew that she needed to go through that vengeance cycle of grief and anger and rage and blaming it all on Kratos. Right? What's so great about this game, it's like when you've got two gods who have made these choices, but who still aren't willing to face the fact that they had a hand in their choices. And then the writing brings us through this redemptive quality at the end where there could actually be forgiveness, but not in this moment. In this moment, I want his head. And I always thought of this moment with Kratos like, you know, when you've got like a kid that you know needs to act out and you're kind of letting your kid act out. And you're not going to hurt your kid, but you know your kid needs to do it in a way. Like, I don't think he sees me as his child, but he's not going to hurt me unless I really force him to. But even then, maybe he like shackles me to a tree. I think Kratos understood the rage and anger. He's had things taken from him. He's had to make some hard choices. So when I'm in my Falcon form and I'm just relentless on him, it is the one thing I'm living for in that moment is to get my revenge. I don't think I've ever thought about, you know, eye for an eye. Let me take your son. You took mine. I'm not even, because she loves Atreus. There's this sort of like de facto mother-son small family that they've kind of created in the last game. But at this point, it's all about getting Kratos and vengeance. I couldn't even see straight in those scenes. I remember I was so filled with that emotion to the point where that scream where I finally knocks me off. And I really wanted to hurt Chris, not Chris, but like Kratos. Yeah. At one point I was like, am I coming too hard at you, Chris? He's like, no, you just do what you got to do. I'm like, just let me know because I really want to hurt you. But I remembered that. And I took all of that rage with that Kratos and it just came out like a blood curdling cry. And a lot of people on Twitter are like, damn, that scream. Oh, that scream sent chills down my spine. And I was like, yeah, I almost lost my voice. We did it 3 times. We didn't need to do it much more than that because there was so much emotion that I almost didn't. I had control as the artist, as the actor, but it was so much coming out that I probably a 4th time wouldn't have been good for me.
I could talk about this all day, but Danielle, I definitely would love to have you back, and you win in the award of Best Supporting Actor in my heart, and lots the hearts of the people, I'm sure, and all the fans. So.
I feel it. I feel that right in my heart. Thank you so much. And that was a grade A Brock impersonation. Now I'm excited about this impersonation.
Oh, thank you. You know, I've been working really hard on my Brock,